get my book. Okay, I got it. Had to get my Dungeon Master guide because I'm gonna have some questions for it here in a little bit. I wish I had a digital copy of the Dungeon Master's guide, but I do not. I guess it wouldn't be that hard to get one, but I like to get officially licensed ones so that I'm not, I don't know, so I don't feel like I'm stealing, so I can support them, I guess. But I'll come back to that in a minute. Right now, what I'm thinking about doing is, well, what I want to do is create an encounter in the Godswood. Now, I'll worry more about the specifics later, as far as getting the terrain and all that laid out, getting an adventure map put together is what I tend to call them. Right now, I'm just going to kind of focus on getting this encounter that I want to put together made. What I want to do is I want to take my little token here, my demonic Treant, as it were, this big guy, and I want to sort of create an encounter around him. See what's happening is we have these druids, these sort of dark and not so nice guy druids, which I'll pull up now. Let's see, D&D enemies. Where do we hide our druids at? I recently cleaned this folder out, and I still feel lost. Thought I saved them in here. There's our Treant. Where did I put my druid? I could have sworn. In downloads? Nope. Maybe I put him in characters by mistake. Let's see. I'm not responsible for some of these characters. Some of these are player characters, and the art was sent to me. Judgeth me not. Well, either way, I've got just the thing right in front of my face, directly on screen here. So we've got these not so nice guy druids, and basically what they've done is they've been slowly corrupting this forest, and kind of trying to find ways to seek. It's not so much the cliche eternal life. I'm still working on what I want them to be seeking, but it is something to sort of create an eternal change. I'm looking a little bit more into druids, because I never actually really played a druid. Never really played anything. I never have a GM or a DM, but what I'm wanting to do with these druids is sort of create these people who were so sequestered and so lost in their ideals that they just sort of went down a very dark tangent, and the bad shit that they're doing has led to the corruption of a Treant. Like I said before, I'll kind of worry more about getting the Godswood as an adventure map set up. So if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, I do various well, let's just use the Ravine Pass as one. This one isn't very big, but this is a adventure map. This is where our players would have tokens on the screen. They'll walk around and they'll do stuff and blah blah blah. This is a small one. I would create a bigger one for the woods, and these are hidden on this. Like what the players see is like this, yeah. But right now I'm not so focused on that. I'm more so focused on creating the encounter zone for the Treant. So what we'll do is we've created a new page here. I'm just going to go and grab my Treant, and we're going to move over here. Now very quickly what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a player character token, and we'll use that kind of for scale. So we want to build this map, so as it were, this battle map around our Treant. So we're going to want something that's going to fit him, and I'm thinking I want him to be about this size. Let's kind of play around with that a little bit and see what we can work with that's still scary. I think that's still creepy, but gives me enough to where I don't have to create a massive room here. A room, as it were. We're going to be in the woods. But But okay, so let's bring the whole would-be party out and see if he still looks intimidating rather, surrounded by our party. As it were, I would still be pretty generally creeped out by this guy. So, do I need to make him any bigger? What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 by 7. Perfect. We'll go with that. Makes it easier when I'm mapping. So first things first, super important. Turn the grids black because it's easier on my eyes. Mucho preferatio, as the Germans say. Now to figure out how we want to sort of have this. What I'm thinking about doing is creating the map in Incarnate. This is a little blend that I haven't done before. So let's go to Incarnate. Please don't steal my information there. But let's go to Incarnate here. And let's create a new map. And let's see here. I'm thinking about just creating a floor map that is the woods. But I want them to be spoopy. So let's see here. Let's take our reference image, which is this. Let's put that off to the side there. And okay, so just a big fuck off monster with some not so great shaped trees. Got it. I don't know why I needed a reference image for that. Force of habit, I guess. But we'll start by just laying down the floor here. Incarnate has this sort of 2 layers feature, a foreground and a background, but it's very rarely useful unless you just want like a hard stop between one layer and another, just a really sort of these spots are different. So typically I won't use it. If I do, I can always go back and subtract. But let's start figuring out what our base ground is going to be. Now, obviously, we're in sort of the area we're in is sort of this. Well, actually, I was going to say swamp, and sure enough, here's a swamp pattern. Let's take that and let's put that down. It doesn't even have to really be a swamp. That's the important thing. We need it to just sort of look almost grungy. We want this area to appear like it's been very negatively influenced by this demonic Treant. So let's just get our base layer down here. Wish I had a bigger brush, or I could just bucket fill all. That'd be really nice, but yeah, whatever. Alright, so we got that. Let's see. I like to keep color themes, so got a sort of a brown, red, and brightish green. So we already got the green down and a little bit of the browns. It's going to be a pretty simple area overall, but we need our scale. So we don't want him to take up, you know, he's not going to be this big. This is going to be stretched out, obviously, so it'll be a lot more. So let's line the edge with our trees. We're not in a jungle. I think we could use a combination of, you know, let's just do this. Let's bump up the jam, the scale, as it were. We're going to need bigger scale than that. Let's get some dead trees. Throw down a few regular, not dead trees. And definitely not going to be doing palm trees. Let's throw some fronds down. We're just going to get an idea of what we want to work with here. Will it be fall in Agdel when they're coming through? I don't think so. So I don't think we need to worry about fall colors. And even then, we don't have to restrict ourselves too much. But I think it's going to be more of a springtime. So, ooh, and the God's wood consists of pine trees. That changes things a little bit. Nothing too terribly out of the way. But it means that we're probably going to be looking to use... I don't want to use pine trees. I think we'll just let that be a continuity error and see if my players catches it. We'll throw some of these down just because they look very marshy, don't they? And oh, actually, you know what? They have a tree swamp. That's perfect. Makes it even easier. So let's just get rid of the jungles and kind of figure out what's going to work best for us here. I think it's going to be a combination of the dead, fronds, and then these. So let's remove our happy, healthy trees. Maybe we'll use those later, but right now, let's kind of think. I want it to be an outer layer of trees that look relatively, you know, like not dead. And then we could kind of take, I'm just kind of laying out a static line right now. Don't worry so much about the specifics. But I was thinking about creating this sort of layer, and then as it gets closer and closer, it's more of the not good trees. Because we're effectively going to center the fight right here. Now what I like to do, and what I want to do here, is to create a literal swamp that he lives out of. Because I don't like for it to be, alright, here's a big open field, here's a monster in it, kill it. I like to create some sort of environmental issues, yeah, I mean, literally that. So let's get this out of the way, and let's create my swamp in the middle here, and take it from there. So we've got our swamp grass, as it were. Let's get some marshy water, and then we'll decorate the hell out of it here in a minute. So let's just come through here and sort of just be very random and erratic with it all. You know, it's a swamp, so it's shallow. So we can give off that look like it's shallow by just not making it everywhere, you know. So we're gonna talk about the tree right now. You can just kind of move it around as need be. We're probably gonna have to modify this some more in a little bit, but for now, let's come through here and let's just add a couple of wet spots. And what we'll do is we'll come through later, and we may just sort of touch up a lot of this. Right now I just want to get the feel down. I wish I could grab my guy and bring him in here, but I cannot. So we'll have this somewhat as it is. I don't want to leave it that way, but I wonder if we could create some dark spots. So let's see. What are we using right now? Okay, we're using this. I was hoping to have some sort of like grungy spots. I wonder if we take this, lower the opacity by about a third, reduce it in size, and just, that's too much. Reduce it in size and just kind of edge everything out with it. What do we get? Let's find out. So it looks a little bit too opaque, I think, right? I think I might need to retouch it in a bit because it looks a little bit too much. Let's do the whole thing, and then after doing the whole thing, I may come back through and change my mind a little bit because it may look better the way it was. Let's find out though. Let's go this route, completely make this, and then we'll decide what we think of it. It's not awful. But I think the problem with it is that it's, well, the more I look at it, the more I don't hate it. Ooh. I don't know. I think it makes it jump out too much. I think I should have come through with the opacity and made it a little less opaque. So let's go through here. Let's grab our garse, and let's just undo, as it were. Oh, I need to completely undo. Actually, what happens if we do that? What happens if we just get this grass and just paint over and with, rather than completely remove? What does it do? Does it achieve the same result while looking a bit more natural? I think it does. Let's find out. Looking pretty good so far. Bloop. Been pretty good with this mouse. Alright. I think it looks a little bit more natural. And then we'll come through here with a much gentler touch, less opaque. And now we'll create that lining that I wanted. I think that looks a lot better. Now we'll start messing around with our shrubbery. Let's do this. Let's grab some. Once and for all, what is that? A frond. Okay. So we were right. Problem is, how big is that going to be when we actually? I think we need to make that smaller because we're going to be zoomed in. Let's do 100 and. Let's just do 100%. Let's just. Cause yeah, we'll do 100% on it, or 100-ish%. What did you end up being? 117? We'll do that. I like that. And let's just frond it up. We're on the edges here. I don't know how to make swamp life look super realistic, per se. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it look aesthetically pleasing. We're going to frond it up, and then we'll come through and we'll start removing things. So for now, though, let's grab some more dead trees. These we are going to want to be mucho bigger. Alright, we wanted it to be sort of as you got further and further in. I don't think you can get further and further in. I don't know what's going to look as good. Do I want regular swampy stuff, or do I don't think the dead stuff looks good en masse, honestly. I think what we'll do is we'll plop down the living stuff, and then we'll maybe decorate a little bit with the more dead stuff. Okay. We got a dead tree there. It doesn't look like the same wood. Let me just remove the dead ones, and maybe we'll leave that now because it looks out of place. Whew. I think I prefer the aesthetic without the dead trees. The problem with this one is, well, one, it's gonna be super simple, but do I have like a of a swampy hill, maybe? Just to add some texture in here. Something that doesn't look too unnatural. Let's try bringing you down. Let's just plop you in there. Bump. Bump, I said? Let's just take... Nope, I don't want the frond. I like the frond where it's at. Just pop that right there. I like to use hills whenever I can, because it kind of makes it kind of adds some texture. Kind of adds, not really texture, but more of like, it makes it feel three-dimensional, I suppose, is the word I'm maybe looking for here. It just makes it seem like it's not this little flat image. I don't know how I feel about this one. Maybe if I move it off a little bit there, just to the back. Because, you know, most places aren't truly flat, you know, so if you add a little bit of, just a little bit of that, you know, nothing major. It's all about being careful where you place it, and it'll add some texture. And then excuse me, I'm sorry, you never know, the players might just take that and just run with it, so I don't want either of these. Get out of here. I think I might just use just stick with what I've got. We'll indicate there's some elevation off to the side there, and I think we'll leave that as it is with the hills. I don't like using the flames and stuff for this one because I can't modify that. When I have fire, I want the players to be able to like put it out, so I usually just put all that in roll 20. So I think as far as this set of decorations goes, we're good. Let's just see if there's any props. I doubt it. I doubt there's much in the way of swampy stuff. What do the chasms look like? Awful here. I don't want to say awful, but they don't look right. They don't look like they belong, so we won't mess with the chasms. Cliffs. Do we have any cliffs? Ooh, actually, we could maybe work with that. We could maybe do a little bit with that. Maybe there's an elevated area to the north there. Let's see here. We would want cliffs facing south. Excuse me. Southern cliffs. Hello. Like this. Is that it? No, that's the opposite. We want it. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm a professional, guys. All right. It'd be like this, right? 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 Maybe it just won't look right from that direction. Let's try to do some western cliffs instead. Let's do it like this. Yeah, let's go with the way we originally were thinking about. And just kind of, I'll grab you and turn you a little bit to do. Oh, dang it! Freaking heck, man! All right, we gotta grab our. Let's just take our hill and move it out of the way. Come back over here to our cliff. Hey, bud. Oh no, is it gonna be this? Dang it! Now I gotta. Let me. Okay. All right. Rotate you. Actually, why am I rotating? This incarnate doesn't rotate, or I mean it does, which is not very well. So we want. Do I have sort of a northeast? Maybe. Oh, I need a northwest. Northwest. What? Ah, that's the front. It's so difficult the way you guys have set it up here for me. Or maybe I'm just making it difficult. Yeah, I think I am actually. Making it harder on myself than it needs to be. Alright, let's scale you up just a little bit. There we go. Ah, dang it. Alright. Goodbye. I'm thinking I might move those fronds down. Let's see. If I grab the fronds, and the hills need to go back up there. Okay, so we got cliff face, which I like. I do like the cliff face, and I'm thinking about wrapping it around so the players come in from the south or west. So real quick, hills, just chill out for a second. Just come over here. If we need, you know what, hills, if we need more, we'll come get you. Okay, for now, just hang out. But let's see here. Let's get a northern facing hill. Sort of pop you down. We'd want it to kind of be like that, coming in there, and then we'll pop another one in, and just kind of twine it a little bit, and then we'll pop another one down, twine it just a bit, sync them up. Well, I mean, I guess that'll kind of work still. And now we can come in here. I don't think it looks stark enough. Try to line that up there. How does that look? Oh, I don't know. Because it doesn't, you see because it doesn't go off screen, does it look like that elevates up? I don't know. I don't think it does. Maybe if we get rid of that and we send it straight northwest. Another one. Okay, and we just kind of I think it does kind of defeat the purpose of having it to begin with, but let's grab our tree and move it out of the way. Hey buddy, get out of there. What are you thinking? Alright. Can't say I don't like that though, because I do, I certainly do. Need our hill back. Hey little guy, get on up here. There we go. Alright. So now we've got that. Let's see. And then, you know, if we want to pull any of that out later, we will. We'll just pluck it and that'll be a wrap. I don't like putting clouds down until the map's done, but I'll put a cloud there. No, because then we can't see behind it. If for whatever reason the players go over there, we want them to be able to actually see what's back there. Sucks, but whatever. How these craters look interesting, to say the least. But I don't think they fit our map very well, do they? No, they don't. Heck. Although we could scale it way down, and it could be like the footprints, but we can't make them happen in real time, so it'd be a little weird, be a little awkward. Alright. Let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I think that's going to be it for our props then. So all we've really got left to do now is if there's going to be any additional terrain painting. I mean, it's a pretty simple terrain. It's a friggin' swamp battle scene, so there's not much else to really add to it. But let's see if we've got any. Kind of like this gray water. I really want to mess with it. Let's just, you know what? Let's just get in here and let's just mess around with it and see where it takes us. Two awful, awful, terrible places that I never should have gone. Oh my god, that looks absolutely just horribly jarring. Okay, lesson learned. I see now that I was wrong. I apologize. Here, let's just completely erase its existence like it was never there. Ugh, that looks terrible. That was just not a good idea. What was I thinking? Alright. Let's take this, lower the opacity, increase the size. Now let's just mess with our terrain a little bit. Okay. I think that's a good enough map for now. I think if I screw with it too much or really keep messing with it, I'm just gonna piss myself off. One thing we could do is we could have a birthing point, so to speak, a sort of where he came from, but I think with the nature of the map, it'd be hard to do that. Or it's also something we could probably do in Roll20. So let's quickly save this. Ow. And also scratch my shoulder while we do. There we go. There's the itch. I feel like it's itching inside my shoulder. So let's take this and let's just plop it down. Did I plop it down? I guess I didn't. Let's plop it down. We'll see what we're working with. Here any minute now. Any second. There we go. Alright, so let's bring this in. We're definitely going to want it to be bigger than that. So let's give ourselves a little bit more size here. Let's do 35, 35. And let's stretch to fit, shall we? Should have enough resolution in this to be able to do that. Let's find out. Yeah, that's what I thought. And let's put our big bad swamp monster. We don't want him to look out of the way here, but how do you guys look next to a tree? Pretty standard. Okay. The problem I'm encountering right now is, what is this? What the hell is our swamp monster doing here? What we could do is have our players approach from the north or west, but I don't like him being turned like this at the beginning, because you see the nature of it, it just looks kind of awkward. It's like a weirdo. I like for him to be face up. I mean, what'll actually happen is we'll have our grids turned off, so it won't look like burning trash, but it'll look more like this. And then he'll be kind of like that. And they'll come in and I'll play the, what are you doing in my swamp? And, you know, then they'll fight. I won't actually play that, I'm not an idiot, but... It's interesting. It's an interesting battlefield. I think might give him a few more movement mechanics, maybe, when he's in the swamp. I wonder what would happen if I just lit him on fire out of curiosity. Let's see. Let's grab some fuego or some fuego. Little McFuega. Still little fuego. He's got burning tips. So fuego and fuego. Does that look stupid? I feel like that looks stupid. Yeah, that looks stupid. Whatever, we tried. I just kind of like the idea of him being on fire, you know, and he's this Treant dude, like big, got a little fire hat. But then the thought occurs, it's like, right, he's just gonna burn himself down. Also, that music got considerably louder. Let's turn it down. That's not what I meant. Okay, there we go. It's actually a little bit too far down. Let's change up the music a little bit. We'll go with this. No commercial, no commercial, no commercial, no commercial. Yeah. Alright, no commercial. So, I want to do more with this, but I don't know what yet. I mean, it might come to me later, but for now, let's bring our players down to the south side. There we go. Come here, guys. You guys are gonna more or less come in from here. Forget it. So we got our players. They're coming in. They're like, ooh, spooky, scary. And then this guy's just like, fee, fi, fo, fuck you. But let's go into here. Add subfolder. God's wood. Add subfolder. Corrupted. Treant. Alright. And we'll give him a character. I'll give him like a cool, like, scary name later. But for now, we're just going to call him, well, we're going to change to an NPC. We're going to call him Corrupt Treant. Oh, there we go. He's angry. Carnivorous. I think that's how you spell it. And that's also not the kind of tree he is, but you know, whatever. Alright. So we'll give him an initiative bonus because he's an NPC monster and you don't want him to roll a fucking 1. And this is his lair. So we're completely homebrewing his stat block here, which is a problem because if you're not careful with homebrewing stat blocks, you create monsters that absolutely stomp your players. By the time they encounter this creature, they should all be around level 8. So we're going to kind of build it for a level 8 party of 5. Question is what's a good monster for a level 8 party of 5? Or a good stat anyway. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, alright, he's not super bright. But he's old. You know, he's an old Treant. So we'll say he's got a solid wisdom score. Charisma, he's a tree. He's an angry tree. Not very charismatic. Constitution, he's an angry tree. He's an angry tree. Dexterity, you know what? Honestly, angry tree. All these apply. It's a tree. He's not very dexterous. And then we'll make him an angry tree, so he's got a lot of strength. He's a strength and a constitution monster. I mean, that's how we're going to break this down. He's strength and constitution with moderate wisdom. The idea being is that they want to try to avoid the fight and do some kind of like negotiations with this tree. It does have sentient intelligence, or sentient, yeah, I mean, it can reason, and it can speak and be spoken to. So we don't want to make it stupid. We just want to make it not your average intelligence. And we want to make it wise. It's seen a lot in its time. So we'll worry about all of this in a minute. But our size is going to be huge. Our alignment is going to be, right now, is going to be, ooh, man. With this, I mean, he's still a Treant, but he's a demonic Treant. So I kind of want to say chaotic evil. So maybe the lawful evil because he's protecting his swamp. Because I feel like chaotic, he's just gonna want to, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm the GM. I can do whatever I want. So let's make his AC. Let's make him an 18. And I gotta cough really bad. He's a tree. There's our note for his AC. Again, we'll refine all of this. His movement speed is going to be, let's do 45 when he's touching any part of this like normal swamp, and we'll do it when he's kind of moving through the water. We'll make it 60. It's not really going to matter, I don't think, but I mean, he's a big guy. He might actually have more than that. Let's see. His normal movement speed in one turn could bring him here. That's literally 3 steps. That's 3 steps. So we're actually gonna bump that up to 60 because he's a big fuck off monster. So in one turn he can move. Let's zoom out to get a scope of that. In one turn he can take here. So that's about 5-6 steps. Yeah, I mean, I can dig that. For a monster as big as him, being able to cross his lair or half his lair in one turn. Yeah. I mean, it's reasonable. It's very reasonable. And then let's see. Don't worry, he can't fly, and climbing we won't really mess with. Damage resistance we'll come back to. Damage vulnerability. I'm gonna go with fire because he's a tree. But he's also kind of a demonic waterlogged tree in the swamp. These are always tough for me because I want to create resistances and immunities and all this other stuff. But I also don't want it to be so like Pokemon typical. Like, oh yeah, it's a water type. Hit it with electricity on grass. You know what I mean? He may be vulnerable. He may be a tree, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's demonically possessed. But I don't want to rob my players of the opportunity to hit him with fire damage. But the problem is that if you play D&D for more than 10 minutes, you know that every D&D party is capable of dealing fire damage. It's just the way it is. Oh, well, come on, babe. My wife has come home, and we're gonna decorate the tree tonight. So we'll see how that goes. But I think we'll do a part 2 of this later. You guys have a good night.